He was just a kid, crouched on the sidewalk, sketching Spider-Man with a piece of chalk. My son, Ethan, 12 years old, his curly hair catching the afternoon sun. Crescent Meadows was quiet, almost perfect, the kind of day where you forget the world's sharp edges. Then came the black SUV. No plates, no siren, just tinted windows and menace. Two men stepped out, posing as HOA officers, badges clipped to cheap polos, the kind of fake authority that thinks it owns the world. I was in my garden, tending my farm stand, when I heard their voices gruff, demanding. "This is vandalism," one barked, pointing at Ethan's chalk art. My boy froze, chalk crumbling in his hand. I started toward them, but before I could speak, the taller man grabbed Ethan's arm, twisting it. Ethan cried out, and the other shoved him to the ground, boots flying. The crack of bones echoed. 28, the doctors later said, his ribs, arm, and leg shattered in seconds. I screamed, rushing forward, but they turned on me, flashing their fake badges. "HOA enforcement," the shorter one snarled. "Back off, or you next." Neighbors peeked from windows, phones emerging, as the men jumped into their SUV and sped off. Ethan lay crumpled, blood pooling under his chalk Spider-Man. My heart broke, but rage took over. These weren't HOA cops. They were thugs, and I was going to make them pay. What they didn't know was that Sarah, owned half of Crescent Meadows' key properties, including the lake and meadow mart, and I was the county's wildlife conservation head. I had resources, allies, and a community that had beaten bullies before. Those fake cops had just attacked my son, thinking they could hide behind their scam. They were wrong. What happened next wasn't just justice. It was a relentless pursuit that turned their lives upside down, landing them in a courtroom facing life in prison. Crescent Meadows was a gated suburb reborn from HOA tyranny, thanks to my battles against Karen Miller. Once a prison of beige conformity, it now thrived with color, murals, wild gardens, and my meadow mart, a community hub of local produce and pride. My farm stand, reborn after Karen's ban, sat on my sprawling property, which included Crescent Lake, a conservation sanctuary I owned outright. As the county's wildlife conservation head, I made Crescent Meadows a beacon of freedom and nature. I'm Sarah, the farmer, store owner, and conservation chief who'd outsmarted Karen 5 times, buying Meadow Mart, turning her tantrums into triumphs, and evicting her fishing club from my lake. My son, Ethan, was my world. At 12, he was a quiet artist, always sketching superheroes on our sidewalk or helping at the farm stand. His chalk drawings were a neighborhood staple, brightening the pavement with Spider-Man and Batman. The fake HOA cops were strangers, later identified as Vince Carter and Ray Malone, 2 ex-cons in their 30s with a history of scams. Their cheap badges and polos mimicked authority, but their black SUV and brutal tactics screamed thug. They'd been hired, we'd learn, by a shady figure tied to Karen's old HOA cronies, desperate to reassert control after her downfall. Their attack on Ethan was meant to intimidate me, the woman who'd dismantled their power. Key allies included my mother, Ellen, a fierce advocate who'd rallied neighbors before, Tom, my biologist friend who'd helped save my lake, and Linda, the councilwoman who'd backed every fight. The neighborhood itself was a character, families who'd embraced my vision, now filming and rallying as Ethan lay hurt. Their phones captured the SUV's escape, a crucial spark for what followed. The setting was my street, a quiet crescent line with my farm stand, colorful homes, and Ethan's chalk art. My property, a 15-acre haven, bordered Crescent Lake, its dock holding my boat, a symbol of past victories. The sidewalk where Ethan sketched was public, but the HOA had no jurisdiction over art, and these men weren't even HOA. Their attack was a calculated strike, assuming a kid's chalk was an easy target to scare me into submission. This wasn't just about Ethan's broken bones. It was an assault on our community's heart, a test of the freedom we'd fought for. For me, it was personal. As I held my son, waiting for the ambulance, I vowed to hunt these men down. Crescent Meadows would rise again, and those fake cops would face a reckoning that would shock the world. The ambulance wailed as it took Ethan to the hospital, his small body strapped to a stretcher. I rode with him, clutching his hand, while neighbors' videos of the attack spread online. The forum exploded with outrage. Fake cops hurt Ethan. Sarah, we're with you. Hashtags #Justice for Ethan and #Stop Fake Cops trended locally, with clips of the black SUV going viral. I posted from the ER, "My son's got 28 broken bones from fake HOA thugs. We're fighting back." The response was a tidal wave. Thousands of likes, shares, and pledges. At the hospital, doctors confirmed the damage. Cracked ribs, a fractured arm, a shattered tibia. Ethan was sedated, his face pale but brave. "I just wanted to draw, Mom," he whispered. My heart shattered, but I channeled it into action. I called Tom, who was already analyzing neighbor videos for clues. "The SUV's a rental," he said. "No plates, but we've got a partial VIN." My mother rallied the community, organizing a vigil outside Meadow Mart, while Linda contacted the sheriff, demanding a manhunt. I met with Sheriff Daniels, a friend from my conservation work, and shared the videos. "These aren't HOA," he said, studying the fake badges. "They're impersonating officers, felony charges." He launched an investigation, tracing the SUV to a rental agency tied to Vince Carter, a known con man. The second man, Ray Malone, had a rap sheet for assault. Daniels suspected they were hired muscle, possibly linked to Karen's old HOA allies, who'd grumbled about my influence. The community forum became a war room. Neighbors posted stills of the men's faces, one catching Vince's tattoo, a snake on his wrist. A local barista recognized it, linking him to a dive bar outside town. I shared the tip online, captioning, "We're closing in. #Justice for Ethan." The hashtag went national, with comments like, "Get those monsters," and "Sarah's unstoppable." News vans camped outside Meadow Mart, interviewing neighbors. Ethan's art made us smile. Those thugs crossed the line. I kept Ethan's spirits up, showing him the vigil. Hundreds holding candles, signs reading "Ethan Strong." But the fake cops were still out there, and rumors swirled they'd try to intimidate others. Linda held a town hall, announcing a council motion to ban HOA enforcement teams and fund a reward for the men's capture. "Sarah's family is our family," she said, sparking cheers. My mother posted Ethan's drawings online, turning his Spider-Man into a symbol of resilience. The breakthrough came when a neighbor's dash cam caught the SUV's route, leading to a motel 20 miles away. A live stream from Meadow Mart. "We've got a lead. These thugs hurt my son, but they can't hide." The stream hit 500,000 views, with wildlife groups and national activists joining in. Daniels raided the motel, finding Vince and Ray with fake badges and a burner phone linked to an HOA holdout. The arrests were live on news, and Crescent Meadows erupted in cheers. But I wasn't done. This was about more than arrests. It was about ensuring Ethan's pain meant something. I planned a community rally, Chalk for Ethan, to reclaim our sidewalks and show the world we wouldn't be scared. The fake cops were in custody, but what happened next would shake Crescent Meadows to its core. The arrests lit a fire in Crescent Meadows. Vince and Ray were cuffed, their fake badges confiscated, but the community wanted blood. My live stream from Meadow Mart hit 2 million views, with hashtags #Justice for Ethan and #Stop Fake Cops trending globally. Neighbors packed the streets, holding vigils and chalking Spider-Man art in Ethan's honor. News anchors called it a mother's crusade against imposter violence, filming outside my farm stand where Ethan's drawings hung like battle flags. The forum was a storm of activity. Neighbors shared every clue: Vince's tattoo, Ray's limp, the SUV's rental records, building a digital dossier that rivaled my past takedowns. "Sarah's done it again," one post read. "Those thugs are toast." A viral tweet summed it up. "Fake HOA cops break kids' bones. Don't know his mom's a conservation chief who owns half the town." #epic fail. Even Karen Miller, now in obscurity, was dragged online, with rumors her old allies hired the men to teach Sarah a lesson. Sheriff Daniels briefed me at the station. "Vince and Ray are singing," he said. "They were paid $5,000 by a former HOA board member, Carl Grayson, to scare you into selling your lake." Grayson, a Karen loyalist, had fled town, but a warrant was out. The men faced charges of assault, impersonation, and conspiracy, potentially life sentences given Ethan's injuries. I posted the update. They targeted my son to control my land. Now they're facing life. The forum exploded. Lock them up. Sarah's unstoppable. Ethan, still in the hospital, saw the vigil videos and smiled. They like my Spider-Man, he said, sketching despite his casts. I showed him the hashtag #ChalkForEthan hashtag, with kids nationwide drawing superheroes. But danger lingered. Grayson was at large, and his allies might retaliate. Linda upped the reward to $10,000, and the council banned all HOA security contracts, citing the attack. "We protect our own," she told reporters, as neighbors chanted Ethan. Ethan. The rally took shape. Chalk for Ethan would fill Crescent Meadows sidewalks with art, reclaiming our streets from fear. I live-streamed the plans. They broke Ethan's bones, but not our spirit. Join us to draw, heal, and fight. The stream hit 5 million views, with art groups and schools pledging chalk. Meadow Mart donated supplies, and Tom organized eco-art to honor the lake, tying Ethan's fight to our conservation roots. News ran headlines. Community rallies for boy brutalized by fake cops. Vince and Ray's arraignment loomed, and evidence piled up. Neighbor videos, the burner phone, Grayson's bank transfers. But Grayson's absence fueled tension. A neighbor reported a suspicious car near my lake, and Daniels increased patrols. I kept Ethan safe, moving him to a private room, while my mother guarded Meadow Mart, rallying customers to join the rally. "This is for Ethan," she said, hanging his art in the cafe. The rally day arrived, and Crescent Meadows was a sea of chalk. Kids drew superheroes, adults wrote justice, and news helicopters buzzed overhead. My livestream hit 10 million views, with comments like, "Ethan's a warrior," and "Sarah's a legend." Vince and Ray's lawyers tried to plead down, but the dossier, videos, witness statements, Grayson's texts, was airtight. Grayson was spotted in a nearby county, and Daniels closed in. As the rally peaked, I planned a final move, a Crescent Meadows Unity mural outside Meadow Mart, painted by Ethan and the community to honor his recovery in our fight. The fake cops were cornered, but what happened next would stun everyone. The Chalk for Ethan rally was a triumph, sidewalks blazing with superheroes and justice in every color. My livestream hit 15 million views, with hashtags #JusticeForEthan and #StopFakeCops trending worldwide. Neighbors packed Crescent Meadows, kids chalking beside news crews. As Ethan watched from the hospital via video call, his smile brighter than his casts. I stood on Meadow Mart steps, megaphone in hand, ready to seal the fake cop's fate. Sheriff Daniels took the stage, his voice booming. Vince Carter and Ray Malone are charged with aggravated assault, impersonation, and conspiracy. With Ethan's 28 broken bones, they face life in prison. The crowd roared, holding signs, "Life for Ethan's pain." Daniels dropped the bombshell. Carl Grayson was arrested an hour ago, confessing to hiring them to intimidate Sarah's family. Gasps turned to cheers as he showed Grayson's mugshot, linking him to Karen's old HOA. Linda spoke next, her authority unwavering. "Sarah's not just a mother. She's our conservation chief and community heart. These thugs attacked her son to steal her lake. Today, we say no more." She announced a council vote to seize HOA assets for Ethan's medical bills and fund the Unity mural. The crowd chanted, "Ethan, Ethan," as kids handed me chalk art, Spider-Man at the center. Tom unveiled eco data, showing my lake's bluefins thriving despite the HOA's chaos. "Sarah's protected our land and our kids," he said, sparking applause. I took the mic, voice steady. "They broke Ethan's bones, but not our spirit. This mural, painted by Ethan and all of us, will stand forever." I shared the mural sketch online. A superhero soaring over Crescent Lake, Ethan's name in bold. The forum erupted. "Justice. Sarah's unstoppable." Daniels confirmed the evidence. Neighbor videos, Grayson's texts, the SUV's GPS was overwhelming. Vince and Ray pleaded guilty, facing life without parole, while Grayson's conspiracy charge added decades. My digital dossier, now public, was handed to prosecutors, ensuring no appeal. News ran it live, headlined "Fake HOA Cops Face Life for Brutalizing Boy." The crowd surged, chalk dust rising like a victory cloud. As police escorted the men's images off-screen, I rallied the crowd. Let's paint our mural and heal together. Kids ran to Meadow Mart's wall, where Ethan's sketch was projected. Neighbors dipped brushes, music blaring as news filmed. This wasn't just justice, it was Crescent Meadows reborn, a community that turned pain into power. Ethan, via video, drew a Spider-Man stroke, and the crowd wept, united. The guilty pleas closed a dark chapter. News ran headlines like "Fake HOA Cops Get Life for Breaking Boys' Bones," and "Sarah's Crusade Saves Crescent Meadows." My livestream hit 50 million views, with hashtag Justice for Ethan and hashtag Stop Fake Cops trending for weeks. Fan art of Ethan as Spider-Man flooded the forum, and schools nationwide sent chalk drawings. Talk shows called, but I stayed with Ethan, now home, sketching despite his casts. The Unity mural was unveiled at a packed ceremony outside Meadow Mart. Ethan, in a wheelchair, painted the final stroke, a bluefin fish soaring with Spider-Man. Neighbors wept, hugging him, as signs read, "Ethan Strong." The mural, funded by HOA seizures, became a tourist draw, boosting Meadow Mart's sales. Linda's council reforms banned private enforcement and mandated community oversight, ending HOA tyranny for good. Vince, Ray, and Grayson were sentenced to life, their scam exposed as a Karen-linked plot to reclaim power. The forum dug up Grayson's ties to her, with posts like "Karen's ghost strikes again." She stayed silent, rumored to be in a city condo, arguing over noise. "Don't be a fake cop" became a Crescent Meadows joke, chalked on sidewalks. Ethan's art, now sold as prints, funded his therapy and a conservation scholarship. Meadow Mart and my farm stand thrived, hosting chalk fests where kids drew superheroes. My lake's bluefins flourished, with Tom's eco tours drawing crowds. Neighbors brought gifts, comics, Spider-Man cookies, saying Ethan inspired them to fight fear. The digital dossier, videos, texts, neighbor tips, was studied for anti-scam laws influencing state policy. My mother led mural tours, her pride in Ethan shining. Ethan healed, his casts off by spring. He sketched daily, his Spider-Man boulder, and joined lake cleanups, a junior conservationist. The forum planned a Unity Festival, with art, music, and eco-talks cementing our spirit. Sarah and Ethan turned pain into power, one post read. I hired local teens to guard the mural, giving them purpose. At the festival, under a Heroes Rise banner, Linda toasted, "To Ethan, Sarah, and Crescent Meadows, where love conquers hate." Fireworks burst, kids chalked, and Ethan's laughter rang out. The fake cops had broken his bones, but we'd build a legacy. Meadow Mart, my stand, and a lake where our fortress, proof no thug could steal our heart. As stars twinkled, I held Ethan close, knowing Crescent Meadows would always stand tall, fearless, and free.